Here are some tips and tricks to get you started on the right foot in Echoes of the Plumgrove. This game is not your typical farming sim, and there's a lot of things I wish I knew during my first playthrough. In this video, I will talk about the basic settings, what to do during your first few days in the game, how to deal with hunger, trading with villagers, marriage, having kids, dealing with diseases, and other miscellaneous tips. Let's start from the basic settings. You can toggle a lot of settings in this game. For example, you can set the fishing minigame to timed, untimed, or simply turn it off. You can also turn off taxes, diseases, aging, etc. depending on how cozy you want your gameplay to be. There is also a tutorial menu that you can access by pressing F and going to the tutorial tab. This contains a lot of useful information if you want to go through that, but this video should cover the most important ones that you need to know. For controls, here are some basic ones that confused me on my first playthrough. Lanterns need oil in order to work. Lantern oil can be filled in the family portion by clicking this icon over here. You need to have lantern oil inside your inventory for this to work, and you will need to refill this from time to time. For the ice box, you can get up to 2 ice each day from the ice house located in town. The ice should be inside your inventory when you right-click the ice compartment for it to work. The ice needs to be replenished every few days, so make sure to keep an eye on it to keep your food fresh. One thing I like to do is put the extra ice inside the ice box so that I'll have a couple of extra in case I forget to get some in town. Once you get a house upgrade, you will also get a cellar which keeps the food fresh but don't need any ice. Also, for better inventory management, left and right click allows you to either transfer an entire stack or just one item. I still wish there would be an auto sort or auto stock update in the future though. During your first few days in the game, I recommend going around the town and getting everything you can forage. This includes shaking trees, picking up items from the ground, and shaking bushes. You can fast travel to quickly get to other places of the map, but you might miss some forageables along the way. Also, be aware that fast travel consumes in-game time. From a little experiment, the time it takes to walk to that area is the same time that gets consumed when you fast travel. There's an exception to this though. If you have a speed buff, it takes a little less time to speed walk to your destination compared to fast traveling. To get all the necessary tools, you should do the bulletin board quest from Roland Smith. You just need some wood, which you can get by shaking trees around town. After you've done this first quest, Roland will continually ask you to do more quests, which will reward you with very helpful items and will let you mine in the caves, so make sure to do all of it. The next thing you may want to focus on is fixing the bridge on the west side of town. This is about the main story quest line, so if you want to discover this by yourself, then skip on over to the next timestamp. On day 6, the ghost of Timothy will visit you. Make sure to follow his ghost. This will lead to a cutscene with Astra, where she will ask you to retrieve her locket from the lagoon located west of town. This is where you will need to fix the bridge by gathering 200 wood and 15 nails. Make sure to shake each tree available twice to get 2 pieces of wood from each tree. You can also get wood by chopping down the trees in your farm using your axe. However, keep an eye out on your tool durability since your tools here can break. It is much cheaper to get your tools repaired than to buy a new one. Nails are sold by blacksmiths. Make sure to buy this if you have money since the villagers only sell a limited amount per day. Once you have fixed the bridge and unlocked the limbo, you will then encounter these pillars, which is part of the main storyline. I won't get much into it, but all I'll say is keep your gold ores and increase all of your skills so that you can get gold star quality items, which will be important in the completion of these pillars. During early game, you will really need to keep an eye on your hunger bar to avoid starvation. At the start of the game, the mayor will give you some food. Once that's depleted, the easiest food to cook is survival salad. You can make it with plantains and violets, which you can find all around the map during spring. You can also buy it from kids or lighthouse keepers. I also highly recommend getting the cherries from the trees at Bailey's farm. Don't eat the cherries as is though. Turn those cherries into dried fruit or jam first. It is better to put it in a preservative jar since it will feel more hunger. but you will only get a drying rack at the start of the game. Try and make preservative jars as fast as you can to have a stable supply of food. For summer, you can process wild grapes found on the bushes. For fall, you can use blackberries. For winter, you can use the persimmon from the graveyard, but I highly suggest planting your own persimmon trees before winter starts. Alternatively, you can store the excess grapes or blackberries from the previous seasons inside an icebox or your cellar. Let's talk about villager trading. Buying and selling goods work a little bit differently on this game compared to others in the similar genre. Each villager has a dedicated trade, and the items they will sell changes based on that. For example, the blacksmith sells tools, the fisher sells fishing rod and lures, doctor sells medicine, etc. If you're looking for a fisher to buy a fishing rod and you don't know who that is, you can use the villager tab from the journal to see who is the fisher. The home and hobbies of that villager will also be shown. Each trade has a designated shop in town, and you can typically find the villagers on their specific trade shops. The schedule for this is shown in the map. During their day offs, you can still buy and trade items with the villagers, but you will need to find them in other areas of the map. If you cannot find a specific villager anywhere, check if their hobby includes spelunking. If it does, then they are most likely down at the caves, so look for them there. If you're learning something new from this video, don't forget to give it a like. Next, we're gonna talk about dating, marriage, and having kids. Having kids and continuing your legacy is a big part of this game since your character eventually passes away. When that happens, you need to have a kid so you can continue playing as that kid. Otherwise, it's game over. You can get married to anyone here as long as they are a single adult. To marry someone, you need to raise your relationship level with them by talking to them daily and giving them gifts every few days. Also, keep an eye for marriage bouquets. These are sold by lighthouse keepers from time to time. Once you've built a good relationship, you can offer this bouquet to the villager of your choosing. If they decline, just simply continue raising your relationship with them before offering another bouquet. Once they accept the bouquet and agree to date you, a new quest will pop up where you must befriend someone they are close to in order to move forward with the relationship. This is usually a member of their family, so make sure to talk and give gifts to those as well. Once that quest is fulfilled, you'll be able to pick a date location and time. Before you head to your date, remember to buy a wedding ring from the blacksmith so you can propose marriage. There are different types of rings. The most expensive ring will guarantee you proposal success, and the less expensive it gets, the higher the chance that you will get rejected. Do not be late to your date, as your date will be on time and will only wait an hour before walking away. If the proposal is successful, you will get married the next day. Some family members will be allowed to join you in your household along with your spouse as long as you have room within your household and they are your spouse's kid, a single adult, or a child without either parent. Be careful! All the other NPCs can marry each other as long as they are single adults, and as far as I can tell, this is randomized. There is a chance that the person you want to marry will get married to someone else if you are not fast enough. There is something you can do if this happens though. You can buy a food item called Death Cake from Astra and give it to your intended spouse. Just wait a day, then you will be able to pursue your intended as normal. Once you are married, head to bed before midnight to have a 25% chance to get the prompt asking if you'd like to have a baby. You can either have a baby via pregnancy or adoption. You will also be able to choose who becomes pregnant regardless of the gender. If you get pregnant, you will walk a little slower than usual for 3 days before the baby is born. Your baby will not get hurt if you forget to feed them. However, there is a higher chance for that baby to obtain negative traits if you ignore them. Babies turn into children after 3 days, and you have the option to apprentice your child out to another profession, send them to school, or help you work on your farm by watering and harvesting for you. The skill that they develop depends on which activity you will assign to them. You can also adopt orphans in this game by buying adoption papers from the mayor. You will need to have a good relationship with that child in order to adopt them though. Children can get orphaned here, especially if a disease spreads through town and affects a lot of people. Speaking of that, Disease is a key gameplay mechanic in this game. You can catch diseases from other villagers, from island visitors, or at a random. This can be avoided with soap or cured with medicines. Soap can be bought from lighthouse keepers, while medicines can be bought from the doctor. There is also a late game potion you can make that will cure any disease. There are 6 different types of diseases and its transmission rate and lethality varies. Some diseases can quickly spread through the entire village and can cause a lot of death. If your character gets sick, you will be prompted to see a doctor. Go to the apothecary during working hours to get yourself diagnosed so that you will know which kind of treatment you need. Do note that there is a chance that the medicines will not work, so you might need to buy several. You can also get yourself inoculated by the doctor at any time to get vaccinated against smallpox, which I highly recommend that you do. Lastly, let's talk about a few other miscellaneous tips. Don't plant your crops at night. If midnight hits and you have not finished watering your newly planted crops, it will disappear. This only happens during the first day of planting. After that, if you forget to water your crops, they will appear wilted the next day, but don't worry because if you water it, it should go back to normal the day after. Gather and plant straws as much as you can before winter hits. Straw is used to feed livestock and in building a barn, coop, or house upgrades. You can get it by cutting grass and weeds in the farm or by planting straw seeds. The grass and weeds in your farm will not regenerate, and no crops can grow during winter, so it is better to have some stock. The animal farmers or indigo farmers sometimes sell straw, but they will only sell a few pieces at a time. Once you get enough money set up, don't forget the iron lantern. I did this for a long time, and when I finally bought it, the lantern oil consumption was significantly reduced, and it was definitely worth the upgrade. Some food or drink will give you buffs or debuffs. My favorite is coffee or latte, since this will give you a speed buff. You should also be careful on drinking alcoholic beverages, since this will make you drunk and move slowly. Lastly, keep all the leaves you can get from bushes. You can also buy this item as well as worms, dirt, and sticks for free from children. Leaves will be very helpful in making money using potions. Speaking of making money, check out this next video on how to earn money in Echoes of the Plumgrove. Consider subscribing for more cozy farming sim content.